It's an amazing story of a company started 20 years ago by one man building swimming pools with a couple of buddies. Today, his company has emerged as a multi-million-dollar operation providing services for some of the best home builders in the country. That man, the founder and the president of Sweeney Excavation, is Bob Sweeney.
We are a site development contractor primarily. Basically, we are a company which will take a project from being a treed, raw piece of land and come through, clear the trees, do the clearing, the grading, put in the infrastructure, build the roads, the excavation for buildings, the concrete foundations, and bring a project from planning stages all the way through to actual construction to actual completion. We like to take all that burden off of all the scheduling and the management for all of our customers. It's simply hand off to us, cut the ribbon, as I like to say, and let us go. And the only things currently that we subcontract out that we don't handle internally are the actual tree clearing and the drilling and blasting of rock on our sites. Other than that, there's nothing on that site that we don't do ourselves.
Technology. How has technology changed this business?
The way this technology works, you can see here, this is a perfect diagram of what we would have out in the field. It is a bulldozer with two satellite antennas, one on either end of the blade. It's equipped with a radio right here, which is going to communicate with an on-site base station, which further zeroes in our actual location on site using the satellites. These two antennas are locating the bulldozer based on their location with the satellites. The model which we build, why it is so important, these elevations which are assigned, as you see as I drive over the site, these are the plan elevations. We've actually built that model to those plan elevations and now related it to the existing ground surface based on the satellite to get this within an inch of what the plan design calls for. So this bulldozer, as it moves in real time, is reading from satellites, and it knows its location on that site, and it knows its elevation on that site also. When we get into some of our equipment, which has a hydraulic override, as it drives across this site, and the satellites are actually positioning it and giving it the elevation, we have the ability with the flick of a switch to let the hydraulics within that machine take over the blade control, raise and lower that blade to the proposed elevations which you see here on the model. The roadway, the curb line, what these grades are in the front yards of the building and so forth. The location and elevation comes from the satellites, and we have that ability to pass it through the hydraulics and override it and literally let those satellites control the blade of the bulldozer.
I like working with Sweeney for a multitude of reasons. Manpower, as far as their labor force, equipment, the technology that they're using to carry out the projects. From the start, from the project to the closeout, help out with utility contractors, contacts, and so forth. And basically it takes a lot of pressure off of me to be at the site each day to oversee these activities when they have competent personnel out there to help along with the project.
So what does Sweeney Residential do?
Sweeney Residential services the existing homeowner, and the whole premise of it is if let's take a for instance of an asphalt driveway, someone who's lived in their home for 15 years and decides that they want a new asphalt driveway. They will pick up the phone, call Sweeney Residential. At that point, we will ask them several questions, how they heard of us, but more importantly, they're at that point given an appointment with a salesperson who will immediately come out to their home, listen to what they really want, create a contract for them, and if they choose to move forward with it at that time, we'll put them on the schedule, give them a scheduled date, which is very important. It's not simply we'll be there in a couple weeks. We actually have a schedule, work orders and crews. We have that here. We've had software designed where when customers call in, we respond to them immediately. We immediately give them the knowledge we have to let them know what we can do for them with a price. If they choose to move forward with us, we go ahead and execute that work for them.
You know, it's interesting, Sweeney Excavation doesn't really begin to tell all of the various services you provide.
It's a full-blown service, retaining walls, stamped concrete. We have a decorative concrete system which is fairly unique in this area, which we've used very extensively in the local area, which people are seeing and really liking. We can give you a stone look and a concrete. Retaining walls, full-blown landscape design is really the goal there, is to have a homeowner come in and say, I would like to do some magnificent things in my backyard with a pool, a cabana, some landscaping, some retaining walls. I want some privacy to the south, and be able to sit down with designers here in-house and have us create that entire plan and that space for that person, put it on paper, and then have the ability to go build it for them. That's the ultimate goal here. We have a tremendous amount of testimonials where people actually will take the time. It's a 10-question, 1 through 10 rating, where people will take the time. I've gotten two-page letters on what a wonderful experience it was with something as simple as a sidewalk. And that's really what we are trying to do. We're not out there just to be another one of the guys. We're out there to be the premier provider of it. Based on the reputation of Sweeney Excavation, the knowledge we have, the technology we have, we want to bring that same stuff to the residential homeowner.
Sweeney Excavation really understands the Toll Brothers business model. We sell and market luxury high-end homes. It's very important to us that we have the site clean and neat, and Sweeney always has his sites in order, clean. His crews are very respectful to our potential clientele or potential homeowners. A good example of Sweeney Excavation coming in ahead or exceeding a schedule is this project, Regency at Berlin. Our original pavement date was for the end of October, and here we are in the middle of May, and we're talking about getting pavement in 2 weeks. So it's just a good example of what Sweeney Excavation can do for companies like Toll Brothers.
This modeling is a very important part of the puzzle, and we currently do this here in-house. We will take that AutoCAD drawing. We've done substantial training to be able to do this here in-house, and it also gives us the ability, as changes come to a project, to be able to adapt to those changes quickly and efficiently, put them in the machine where they're right in the operator's hands, where he knows exactly what he has to build. He builds it accurately, exactly as we are contracted to do, very efficiently and quickly.
And how big is the company now?
The company now is about 70 people strong. We have several divisions within the company. The divisions that are kind of come in and put in the road. We break out our divisions of the people who do the excavation behind the curbs, and our concrete foundation division, obviously. And we also do a lot of rock and earth processing. The benefits are from a speed standpoint, with the GPS capabilities and with some of the things I just described, we're able to move at a much faster pace through a project. The accuracy of the project. We've taken it to a full review standpoint. In building the models, we actually go through, review all these things. Your typical contractor is not going to do that. They're simply going to take the two-dimensional plans, go out there with the oak stakes, and start to build things. By us having to build that model, we've actually done a thorough review of those drawings where we feel we've worked out most of the kinks, if not all the kinks. And then the accuracy of how we're going to build it is another thing, is another great feature to our customers. The actual quality of it, due to the materials and being able to place those in the proper places. What they're doing is installing the water services from the water main into the building. That stick there the gentleman is using actually locates where that water line is supposed to go. That, again, is the pipe networks fully designed on the site, showing exactly where it's supposed to go, where the shutoff is actually supposed to go. That is laid out. The excavator digs it exactly per plan. It's installed exactly per plan. It's also as-builted using that instrument. That data comes back to our offices to create an actual as-built plan also of, we are putting the utilities where they're designed to go. The as-built plan actually confirms the actual, not only the actual location, which is common with an as-built, but also the actual elevation of all those utilities for future use. If any excavation needs to go on here again, our customers and us will have a record of every utility under the ground, location as well as elevation. Customer service is everything to us. I mean, we're a service business. We do every job for the next job. The people here have instilled within them, we're doing a job so that when we get completed with it, our customers can't imagine ever working with anyone else but us again. And I think our history shows that. I mean, we have a standard customer base. We're not outbidding every job that's out there. We target specific customers who we feel our services fit their needs well, and every day we're looking to improve on that. We're a better company today than we were a year ago, and we'll be a better company a year from now than we are today.
The story of Sweeney Excavation, a company driven by a passion for their work and a desire to exceed their customers' highest expectations. That's where their own expectations begin. I'm Doug Llewellyn reporting from Hamden, Connecticut.